3 ways to toss the medicine ball to train your body to generate natural power on your tennis swing. Most medicine ball videos involve somebody moving quickly and tossing and shuffling and tossing and shuffling. Unless you already know how to use your body to generate power, you're really only doing a cardio workout and not training yourself on what you actually need to do to swing. Slow down that process so that you understand the sequence your body has to do in order to generate natural power. Learning how to toss the medicine ball effectively with your body benefits all of your shots, whether you're hitting a forehand, a two-handed backhand, or a one-handed backhand. Knowing the sequence and what your body has to do to produce power on each one of those shots is the benefit of learning how to toss the medicine ball. I like to use a 4-pound medicine ball because it's heavy enough to produce a little bit of resistance, but not heavy enough to cause your arms to strain and feel like you're going to use a lot of arm strength in order to toss the medicine ball. I like to hold the ball from underneath because it's going to force my body to have to generate the power, and I'm less likely to want to shove it forward like a basketball pass. Hold the medicine ball away from your body so that your elbows are pushed forward. You don't need to bring your elbows back further because you're already going to be producing a lot of rotation with your upper and lower body to generate the power that you're going to be looking for with your swing. The first and easiest way to toss the medicine ball is to walk and swing. It has the lowest learning curve and it generates the easiest power because your body is moving through the contact zone. It doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, practice tossing from both sides so that you are able to practice your forehand and backhand when you're tossing the ball. When you're first learning it, you don't have to emphasize your shoulder rotation, just emphasize walking past your contact zone. After you start feeling more comfortable with that, then you can walk and swing, emphasizing that shoulder rotation, and then continue past your contact zone. When you get onto the court, it's easy to apply walking and swinging to your shots because they are very similar from tossing the medicine ball to swinging your racket. Whether it's a forehand or you're walking and swinging and you're hitting a backhand. As you start to get better at it, think about rotating your shoulders and then allowing yourself to swing as you're walking. The second way is similar to walking, but it's emphasizing how you're loading a little bit more, so it's easier to learn it after you practice walking and swinging with the medicine ball. To practice loading effectively with the medicine ball, think about having your upper body having completed its load by the time your back foot lands. If I was hitting on my right side, my right foot is the back foot of my swing. When I'm stepping forward with my right foot and having my upper body complete the load when my back foot lands. Then I'm able to step forward with my left foot, which is my front foot, and I haven't transferred any weight yet. I'm emphasizing that there's no weight transfer yet because I still need to be able to move in a loaded position and be ready to hit the shot if necessary. You're not always going to be landing and immediately hitting. Sometimes you need to make last-second adjustments, and that's where keeping your weight on your back foot and understanding how you need to move so that you're ready to strike when the ball is in your strike zone. The back foot steps forward, you've completed your load, your front foot steps in. Not until you're ready to hit do you transfer your body weight onto the front foot. Pivot your back foot so that the heel is going to be facing toward the back fence, and now allow yourself to get to your ending position with your elbow finishing up high over your shoulder. Stepping in with our back foot, completing the load. Stepping in with our front foot, we haven't done anything with our weight, we're still on our back foot. I'm ready to hit now, so I'm going to transfer my weight onto the front foot, leaving the ball where it is. So it's going to feel like I'm creating a lot of tension in my torso as I choose to pivot my back foot. From here, I have a lot of pull that's wanting to drive into the court, and I'm going to allow it to finish at my end position with my elbow up high. Sometimes it's going to be obvious that your weight is clearly shifting onto the front foot first, and then you're pivoting and finishing your shot. And other times it's going to feel more like your weight shift and the pivot are happening at the same time. The last thing you want to do is feel like you're leaving your weight on your back foot and trying to pivot off of that position. If your weight is still on your back foot and you're trying to pivot, your swing is going to feel slow and it's going to feel like you're getting stuck as you're trying to move, but there's not any momentum going through that contact zone. You need to make sure that when the pivot is happening, you're either driving your weight forward onto the front foot or having your weight already transitioned onto the front foot so that you are able to pivot easily from the back foot and drive forward, releasing at your end position with your elbows up high. You can practice this from both your forehand and backhand side, so you can practice completing the load, allowing yourself to step in, transferring your weight, pivoting your back foot, leaving the ball where it is, and allowing yourself to get to the end position with your back elbow finishing up high. As you get better at it, you can allow the sequence to speed up and you can allow it to feel more like the speed of your actual swing in a game. When you're finally picking up your racket, you have learned how to complete your load by the time the back foot lands, learned how to transfer your weight forward when you're ready, pivot your back foot, and allow yourself to get to your ending position with the elbow finishing up high. Whether you're hitting a forehand or a backhand, you're learning how to transfer your weight, pivoting your back foot so that the hips are driving forward, and now allowing yourself to finish at your end position with your back elbow up high. Whether you're hitting a two-handed backhand or a one-handed backhand, learning how to load and then transfer your weight onto your front foot so that you know how to drive your weight through the contact zone and generate easy power using the mass of your body. A more advanced way to think about that same process is to not only think about the internal rotation of your back hip, but also the external rotation of your front hip. That means that when your back foot is ready to pivot, you are also externally rotating your front hip, pushing the weight onto the heel to get it out of the way, which allows your hips and body weight to transfer more energy into your shot. The third way to throw the medicine ball that is very powerful is to have your hips loaded ahead of your chest, meaning that your head is going to be above your back foot with your hips more above your front foot. From this position, it feels a lot more like if you were going to be lifting the ball behind you, and now your chest is kind of pointing more toward the back corner. From this position, you're just thinking about having your chest face toward the net. From here, I just want my chest to face toward the net. What's really powerful about this is that it's engaging your whole body to really transfer its weight from your back foot onto the front foot. What ends up being a little bit difficult to engage your hips is that you're thinking so much about getting your upper body to do the movement that you forget that you still need to engage your hips as you're doing that motion to generate the power and have it feel easy to do. When I'm having my chest face toward the back fence, I'm not having it do a complete 180, meaning that I'm trying to have it face directly behind me. It's a lot more like it's facing toward the back corner. This will still allow you to look over your shoulder and see the incoming ball. Just like the previous version, you have completed your load by the time the back foot lands, but now when your front foot steps forward, you want your hips to transition on top of your front foot so that it's producing the bend in your body with your chest facing toward the back fence, allowing you to have a bigger range of motion to transfer your body weight from your back foot onto your front foot. You don't necessarily need to think about rotating your chest, because thinking about having your chest face the back fence and then face toward the net is producing a rotation with your body without you having to think about rotating. Even though you don't need to think about rotating your upper body, you do need to think about engaging your lower body so that both the upper and lower body are going to be communicating and feeling in sync during the swing. I have completed the load. I'm allowing my hips to go forward when I step in, and now I am going to finish my swing above my front foot with my chest having now faced toward the net. As you get better at this one, it's not so much that your chest just faces toward the net, your body actually keeps moving, and oftentimes it means that you're finishing a little bit more bent over so that your front elbow might be even kind of leaning toward your back pocket of your front hip. You will be moving from your loaded position, looking over your shoulder, and now finishing on top of your front foot, having the chest face from the back fence to the net, and produced a lot of power. This way does produce a lot of power, but the timing when you pick up your racket is slightly different than the other ones because it feels like you have to actually wait just a little bit longer. Everything happens a little bit quicker, but your strike zone is not so much out in front. You're going to be able to have everything driving through your contact zone, but it's going to feel like it's a little bit closer to your body as you do that. Although you do have a lot of power transferring your body weight from the starting position onto the ending position to really drive the ball as fast as you can. With loading like this, you have transitioned your weight forward, and now you're just allowing yourself to catch up on top of your front foot. So it transfers your body weight and does rotation at the same time. You just have to remember that as you're doing the load, that you are still going to be able to rotate your hips as you do it. If I were really to emphasize that body position, it feels a lot like I'm picking up the ball behind me. And from here, you can see that if I was really going to try to throw it, I'm finishing a little bit tilted over, even though I was only thinking about having my chest face toward the net. My body continued to move through the contact zone, producing a lot of power as it traveled the distance from my starting position to my ending position. What feels a little bit uncomfortable about this position is that you're not really used to creating this type of diagonal with your hips being so far ahead of your chest and head. And this is actually where you want to feel this. The more that your head is actually on top of your hips, the less movement that you're going to have to drive your weight through the shot. This last way is very powerful, although sometimes it focuses too much on the upper body, which means that you can forget to initiate the swing from your hips. You are going to find a lot of power in it, but you do need to remember to engage your hips as you're doing it, because it's easy to get overly focused on what your chest is doing from facing the back fence to the net during the swing. You don't need to learn all three. Your game will level up a lot just simply thinking about walking forward as you're swinging. These were 3 ways to help you learn how to use your body to produce natural power in your swing. Remember, the most important one is learning how to walk and swing. It's not just that it's producing natural power, it's also teaching you to mentally want to move forward and step into the ball whenever it's coming to you.